Animal Rights 2014. Are you ready to get rowdy? Hey, my name is Jon Camp. I work for Vegan Outreach. Thank you for coming to the Engaging Youth Talk. I will be joined by Stephanie Frankel of the Humane League. Can we give a big round of applause for her? And Angie Fitzgerald of Farm. Let's give it up for her. So, for starters, my name is Jon. I work for Vegan Outreach. How many of you here are familiar with Vegan Outreach? Okay, so I don't think I need to explain to you what we do since you already know what we do. So, for starters, what Vegan Outreach has been doing is printing and distributing booklets for the last many years. Over the last 20 years, we have distributed over 23 million booklets, and about 50 of them were handed out by Cassie, who is in the Cassie, while simultaneously doing ab exercises. And leafleting has a rich historical background in creating social change. Tracts or pamphlets have played a role in the American Revolution. Thomas Paine's Common Sense helped galvanize American settlers to take up the cause of the American Revolution. It played a role in the anti-slavery movement to get abolition. It played a role in the women's rights movement to get women their due rights to vote. And of course, it has prepared us for the end times. Vegan Outreach has been taking this approach into the 21st century, and we focus primarily on giving out booklets free of charge to youth at concerts, colleges, etc. With any form of activism, we want to have the biggest bang for our buck. If you are an investor investing in stocks, you want to invest in those that will give you the most profit. As animal activists, we want to be investing our time in the activities that will reduce the most amount of suffering. That's how we judge the effectiveness of our work. So, when we choose to do one thing, we are choosing not to do another, and therefore we want to choose activities that do a lot of good for animals. Out of all the animals raised and killed in the U.S., about 99% of them are farm animals. So when we focus on farm animal advocacy, we're able to impact the most number of animals. Now, if these animals were to lead good lives, we might focus on other animals, but as we know, today's farm animals lead anything but good lives, and many of them actually suffer to death before even making it to the slaughterhouse. We can do a world of good for animals by creating more vegetarians and vegans. The average vegetarian and vegan spares a couple dozen birds and mammals each year from suffering by somebody going vegetarian or vegan. So each person we get to change their diet, that is a significant victory for animals. Now, we can have many significant victories. We can exponentially increase the good we do for animals when we create more and more and more and more vegetarians and vegans, or even people reducing their meat consumption. The nice thing about vegetarian advocacy is you don't need to do anything dramatic. All you need to do in the case of leafleting is get out with a box of booklets, go out to an area high in foot traffic, give out booklets, and in a matter of an hour or two, you're likely going to reach hundreds of individuals and potentially or very likely convince a number of them to make some significant changes that can help animals. We focus on youth because college students especially, because college students are in the time of their lives when they're questioning the status quo, thinking through heavy ideas, and trying new things. We implement this through our Adopt a College campaign, which has individuals going out to colleges in their neck of the woods giving out booklets. We distribute about 1 million booklets on college campuses every semester. We hit pretty much every big school in the US and most of them in Canada and pretty much all the mid-sized schools. So by this simple work, just merely offering somebody a booklet, we're able to reach a lot of individuals, a lot of our key demographic. We also focus on Warped Tour. How many of you know what Fans Warped Tour is? Okay. We've got a few road warriors in the crowd, like Chris, Cassie. Oh, everyone who's currently on Warped Tour, why don't you raise your hand? So these are individuals who right now are going from city to city in a carload, and they are going to Warped Tour, which brings out thousands and thousands of individuals who are, say, age 15 to 25, and they're going out after the concert, leafleting these individuals, and on any given night, they're reaching upwards to 10, 11, 12,000 individuals who are most receptive audience. So it's really important work, and Vegan Outreach has teamed up with the Humane League for the last many years to do this. And last year we reached about 300,000 young minds through Warped Tour, and I'm guessing we'll reach that many this year. So something like leafleting, it can often seem intangible, that you're just handing somebody a booklet and they're either going to throw it in the recycling bin or throw it in the garbage. The nice thing about my job working for Vegan Outreach and seeing the feedback that comes in is that there is a lot of feedback that comes in. I know that I've been on the road, I've been traveling for the majority of the last 10 years, and it was very, very frequently that somebody would come up to me and say, hey, I got a booklet from you a year ago, 2 years ago, I'm now vegetarian or vegan. Just at the conference this weekend, I've had a couple people come up to the Vegan Outreach table and say that it was getting a booklet that introduced them to vegetarianism, veganism, and that's why they're now into animal rights. We get a couple hundred vegetarian starter pack requests every month from individuals who got a booklet, went to the back of it, texted us, or went to our website and ordered a starter guide request. And the Humane League and Farm Sanctuary teamed up about a year and a half ago to do a survey on the effectiveness of leafleting. They gave out thousands of booklets at the University of Maryland, the University of Delaware, and then they went back a few months, was it 6 months later? Okay, 6 months later, asked these individuals if they had made any dietary changes, and they were seeing a lot of individuals who went vegetarian, vegan, who cut back on meat, and it came to about, for every 2 booklets given out, about 1 animal was spared from suffering. So this is work that, it's simple, but it does work. Feedback like this. Today I received your booklet in Seattle and decided on the spot to go vegan, thank you, etc., 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 etc. And we're also starting to see, while this might not necessarily be through leafleting per se, we're seeing really good trends in terms of youth who are interested in veganism. Bon Appetit, which is a food catering company, they provide food on college campuses. They did a survey in 2005 to 2006 asking students about their dietary choices. At that time, 8% said they were vegetarian, 1% said they were vegan. 4 years later, for the 2009-2010 survey, 12% said they were vegetarian, 2% said they were vegan. So in a matter of 4 years, we saw a 50% increase in the number of vegetarians on college campuses, doubling of vegans. So we're seeing very encouraging news on that front. So if this is something that you would like to do, I want to stress that it couldn't possibly be any simpler. You say, John, send me booklets, I send you booklets, you get your booklets, you take a sharp object, you open up your box of booklets, you go to an area high in foot traffic, and you start offering individuals these booklets. I like to say something like, hello, info to help animals, and most people are either going to take a booklet and say thank you, or not take a booklet and say no thank you, and the majority of people are going to say yes please. So it's very, very simple work, it's pretty pain-free, and it does a lot of good for animals. Now, when we're out doing this work, we are always going to win more people over when we are friendly with them. This is Eileen Body, who is our New York City coordinator. She is winning over, in this case, a butterfly with her people skills. And so she's an example of being happy. People are going to gravitate towards her. This is somebody we're not actively recruiting for Vegan Outreach's work. I'll let you soak this in. Okay. And we also take the approach of the foot in the door approach, that people are more likely to make a big change if they first make a small change in that direction. So we very much encourage piecemeal change. If people want to cut their meat consumption in half, that's a big net positive for animals. If people want to go meat-free 1 day a week, that's good. So we, in our literature, promote everything from cutting your meat consumption in half to going vegetarian, going vegan, we encourage any change in the right direction. So the most important tip for any form of activism is simply scheduling time and getting out and doing it. Leafleting is something that does work, and if it's something that is of interest to you, all you have to do is say, I'm going to schedule 1 hour a week, 1 hour a month, and you get out and you do it. You will do it, you'll feel happy about yourself, and you will want to do it more and more of it. And also I should mention that we have individuals traveling throughout the U.S. Every semester, so pretty much any city you live in, we will be there. So it's a lot easier to get your feet wet when you join somebody who's been doing this for a long time. So if this is of interest to you, please let me know. I will put you in touch with the right person. If you think that giving up your time is not the best route and you have money to give, your money would be better spent helping animals than, say, a suit like that. I know that it was a few years ago that Vegan Outreach's budget increased by 56% compared to the previous year. That same year, we were able to distribute 56% more booklets. So there was a direct correlation between the amount of money that came into us and the amount of good that we were able to do for animals. So similarly to setting aside, say, an hour a week, an hour a month, if that's not your route and you want to give to groups who are doing good work, you could set aside, say, I'm going to use an hour of my time, what I make from an hour each week or what I make from an hour each month, I'm going to give that to animals doing good work. There are individuals who that's their main form of activism. One of them is Kurt Albright, who's right there. And Kurt is a big-time hero for the animals. He helped set up the Humane League Charlotte office, and he gives to other groups, including Vegan Outreach, who are doing great work. He is an investor, and he's using his skills through that field to do a world of good for animals by donating to groups doing good work. So, there has never been a better time to get out and do this work. If you would like to join us for this work, we would be absolutely thrilled to have you. You will meet some of the best individuals to ever exist. You'll have a lot of fun, and you will do a world of good for them. So, thank you very much for your time.